Hey guys, what is up and welcome back to another video. Today we're here for episode number 66 of Goattville updates, and we are once again here back in the city working on the zoo as in my previous episodes, but hopefully we shouldn't be working on this for too long. Maybe we can get into some other interesting parts of the city, maybe even out of it. Because I've been working on the city for the past 8 months, actually within the city for probably nearly a year now, so I kind of want to get onto some other stuff, probably just as much as you guys do, but the zoo is probably going to be one of my, sort of final big projects to finish here, and I've gotten quite a lot of work done on it in just the past, it has been 2 weeks, but still, I've gotten quite a good bit amount of done. If you've seen my previous episode, I just, worked out just to, that line right there, so I've gone quite a good distance outside of that, and yeah, building the zoo has been pretty fun. I've never built anything like it before, and I've always wanted to, and it's been turning out quite nice. So not too much change to the front of it all, just keeping it all rather the same up here in the front, just working on expanding it out as far as possible. One of the first changes we have is up here. This area was just completely stone, all just the pathways all meeting up to form this massive circle, and originally I didn't really plan for that to happen, so I was like, maybe I could put a statue there or something just to fill up the space, but then I decided, you know what, I'll just put another little enclosure right here, and we have the rabbits, and for some reason they all love to just be over here in the corner, and also they're only brown and black rabbits. I think it might be because of the, the biome that I have set for the world. It's not, desert or tundra or whatever, so we're not getting any, white or beige rabbits, so they're all just got, typical, uniform colors among them. But yeah, I just have this small little enclosure. I was originally planning to put them in this sort of desert themed area, but, I kind of needed to fill the space in somehow, so I decided, what, I'll just put the rabbits here. Sure, it'll be fine. And they even have little tunnels which go through the little grounds, which connects to different parts, and they can go through them if we get a carrot to get them out of that one corner. Here we go. Let's put a few of them in the hole right through there. There we go. And they all have R names because, R for rabbit, of course. And then if we fly over to the other side, still with the carrots, you can see that some of them will begin to emerge from the hole. There they come right there. I feel like that's pretty nice. The only problem is they don't use them. They all just chill over there, and I don't know why. And that was a problem with many of the other creatures here in the zoo, even with the creepers right here. So the way I solved this problem was I just used some barriers to section them off, because they all used to just be alongside this wall right here, and they wouldn't move anywhere else. So I just made some barriers for them right here, and spread out across the this massive enclosure that they have that they weren't really using, and now it looks a little bit more spread out. And we got 3 of them up here in the front, in sort of the open area, and then 3 of them back here towards the glass. So people coming down will at least have 1, 2, or actually 3 creepers. That would be right up there against the glass. This person's just chilling on the way back here. But yeah, that's pretty much the only change I made to the creepers. I guess we can go over here to the cave. I featured this in the last episode, and this building is pretty much completely done for the visitor's perspective. I don't have any of the back rooms done, but everything else is pretty much done. As you can see, I've touched up the entrance a little bit, making it a little bit more, special than the original bland one that it originally looked like. And of course we got the bats, nothing changed there. I'm not too sure if anything else changed. We just got, typical stuff as I've seen in the last episode. Cave spiders doing fine. The silverfish, these creatures have really been right pain, because for some reason I spawned in 8 of them, right? And they all had name tags. They were all, they should have all just been there, but I come back and now there's only 3 of them, and I think they died because I put a little lava thing right there in a simulated end portal. But I even checked all the stone bricks, and they're not really hiding in any of those, so I guess they all just disappeared randomly. And then over here, this is of course where the phantoms were supposed to be, but I could not figure out how to do all that, so I just replaced them with the skeletons, and they seem to be doing quite fine in here. But aside from that, the cave is pretty much done as it is for all the visitors. We still have all the, extra stuff in the back that still is a little bit incomplete. That'd be good if we added some details there. But aside from that, let's go all the way back here towards the creepers, and we can check out some of the other new enclosures that I've added in. Over here are the slimes, and this is quite a nice exhibit. So I think it's the largest one that we have right here. So we just got a bunch of slimes hopping around in their little swamp right here. Pretty simple, but I think it's a nice touch. And then over here we have the Ravagers, very obscure mob here in the game. And they seem to be very interested with that corner right there, but probably going to add in a couple more because this is a pretty empty right now. Maybe I need to add in some trees and such. But yeah, that's pretty much all it is for the Ravagers. Back here I'm going to have, sort of just a back entrance, typical sort of thing that they have, but I had to close this off. Actually, you know what? I can open this up now because originally that was open before I built the enclosure behind that. And then if we go over here to this other side, we will begin the desert-themed area. It's a small little section of the zoo, but still adds a little bit of variety to the typical structure that we have. And here we have the husks. This is a pretty dull enclosure. I definitely need to add in some more details, but we just got typical husk with H names because husk H. And I originally had 4 of them. I think one of them died in the lava, so of course to prevent that, I put them all in their little boxes once again. So yeah, that shouldn't be too much of a problem. And then over here we have the spiders, and the spiders have their own sort of open air part of it, and I had to replace the cacti with these stained clay blocks because no, I don't think that's stained clay. Is that? Nah, it's like terracotta. Yeah, I got that new name. But yeah, I had to do that so they couldn't get out. And then over here it connects into a little cave. You can see a little entrance back there. And this is where the majority of them are. And a bunch of them kept getting over this wall, so I just had to close off this entire one so no one could get through. It doesn't make too much sense, but, it keeps them in. And there, once again, all these mobs are so hard to control. They're just so obsessed with the corners of all their enclosures. I don't get it, but alas. And then over here, we have the llamas, and this was pretty much my plan for their enclosure for the entire time that, I had it, planned out. That I was, actually planning on getting around to it. But now that I've actually finished it, this is, a little bit too luxurious. This is, a mountain that they got, and they got, a perfect view, and, and of course, since they're llamas, they're gonna have L names, so we got Lyra over there, and we got, who's this, Larry? Yep. And they even got this little waterfall right there, so the llama's got quite the nice enclosure here, and turned out very nice. I love the way that looks. Definitely should add in a couple of trees, especially towards the back right there. Yeah, and then aside from that, to the other side of this little road right here, we're gonna have the mushrooms, which is the other parts of the mountain-themed part. This will be the real mountain-themed sort of trail right there. And then this is sort of the main path, which runs all the way back up towards that museum, and then eventually connects back all the way to the beginning of the zoo. But all of this stuff beyond here is pretty much just vague planning. Don't have too much of it set down, but let's continue with some of the other stuff that you've probably seen so far. In the background, let's go to get a formal place for it to start. Look over here beyond the cats. Right up here, we got the, this is going to be sort of the main open area. We have the entrance, but that's not too much of a space, and it's just got a couple random shops. But here we'll have the food area, so, not too far away from the beginning of it all, so, I'll be able to get this done now before it's eventually too late, and I've built up all the enclosures before I've put in actually any of the proper stuff. But over here we just got a set of restrooms, and then over here we're to have a bunch of restaurants and such for eating. And then if we move down here, this little nice lovely road right here, we got a couple iron golems right here, and these guys weren't actually planned to be inside the zoo, but I had this little space, and I figured, I didn't use the iron golems, so I just decided, hey, let's put them right here. So we got those guys just chilling right there. We even got a small little area to view over the slimes right here. And the thing about the slimes that's really annoying is that they just keep jumping on top of the trees. I think they can climb the vines. They jump up to the top of the trees, like over here, and then they jump off, and then they die which, gets rid of their name. I mean, some of the bigger ones, they have name tags, right? But the smaller ones, they don't. But the smaller ones can, like, come together or something like that to form a bigger one, but that doesn't have a name, so eventually we're just going to have a bunch of massive slimes without names, but they haven't despawned yet, so that doesn't seem to be too much of a problem, if that's the case. And then over here, we have the, another sort of themed area of the zoo, and this is the jungle. And this area is, I feel like this area is going to turn out really nice. Over here, we just have sort of, this all-off area. Nothing, not really dedicated to anything. We just got a couple plants here. Bamboo, Quis fermentum is their Latin name. Just sort of, chilling there, because sometimes they have that in zoos, and a little lake with some coral at the bottom. And a little statue of a panda right there. But right here, this is the ocelot enclosure. Good number of ocelots sort of running around. This actually turned out really nice. I love the way that this looks. Really got that, jungle vibe, but still very visible for all of these, spectators. And hopefully they aren't smart enough to get on top of, like, these trees and, be able to escape. I don't think we've had any of those so far, but even if we do, I don't think it should be too much of a challenge to just trim back some of the trees right there. But yeah, did they need a fish? No, I don't think they can actually eat actual fish, so, but that's still a nice little detail to have right there in the lake right there. And then over here is just a little gift shop, similar to the one at the beginning of, at the front of the zoo. Just this time it's a little bit more jungle themed. And then over here is just sort of the simple beginning phases of the bird house, if you will. I mean, there's really only parrots that we can put in here, but there's a variety of different kinds, and I feel like to sort of make a little enclosed, simulated jungle atmosphere would be, a pretty nice addition to have right here. And beyond here, this little area will be for the pandas, and then beyond that, it's pretty much incomplete. I don't really know exactly what I'm going to add in. I'm definitely going to add in a section for, like, the nether building, which will probably sit, like, right here, directly opposite of the museum back there. And then aside from that, we're just going to need to put in, finish up the mountain area, the jungle, add in a little tundra themed area, and then I think that's all I really think I'm going to need. I'm going to add in, like, a water themed area and a theme dedicated to the end, but I think we can put that on the other side, but I'm not going to worry too much about that. I'm just going to finish up the mainland right here for the zoo and just sort of close all this stuff off, put in the parking lots, which shouldn't be any problem, finish, put up some finishing details, and hopefully we can be done with this within just a couple of weeks. I don't think it should be too much of a problem to do all of that. But yeah, just put this in the very early stages of its completion, just so we can move on to some other stuff within the next month. So yeah, because there's a good lot of other stuff here in the city that I want to get down to, because there's still plenty of open spaces like this one right here next to the train station. Those areas still need to be filled up. And then, of course, the theater is a nice fun project. I want to be able to get back to some of that. But yeah, I'm probably going to get back to the city, some more of the city work, finishing up some of the projects that I've, sort of started this year, so that hopefully we can finish, just sort of finish work here on the city. Of course, not completing it, but, just sort of stopping for now, sometime towards the end of the year, maybe around November or December, and then we're going to move beyond the city. We're going to move back to the other parts of it, because the city is not the only part of Goattville, of course. I want to fill in this state park right here. It's a massive project, but I also don't think it should take that long. And then, of course, there's some of the suburbs with the world edit that I have. Filling them up shouldn't be too massive of a task. And then I also plan to move out to the rural areas, where I'll, be making proper rural areas for the intended environment that I have right here. Because 2 years ago, when I was building the sort of beginnings of all that, I was making it like Indiana or something, growing massive rows of wheat. But instead, I'm probably going to be doing, like, grazing fields, making it a little bit more like Scandinavia, like it's supposed to be. So yeah, hopefully we can do that. But yeah, I guess that'll be it for this episode. I want to thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all later. Bye!